Okay, a little bit of a tangent from our normal here at Blue Glow Electronics, but I thought this might be a fun video to make of something I was just doing in my personal life. What we're going to try to do today is tame the steam dragon, and you may wonder, well, what the heck are we talking about? Well, let's take a look. Alright, so this is a Steam Dragon professional steam cleaning machine, and these are commonly seen in jewelry stores, used to clean all sorts of jewelry, watches, things of that nature. So if you dropped your jewelry off at a place and asked them to clean your jewelry for you, this is probably what they're using to do it with. These are used in a lot of different scenarios, and a new one like this is about $1,000 to $1,100. So it's not something your average person has in their home, and I've always wanted one and just have never sprung the kind of money for it because I didn't know how much I would use it. I would use it to clean knobs and various parts and components when restoring gear, various things around the house and whatnot. So I just happened to be out and about doing my normal picking, digging type thing, and I ran across a steam dragon that does not work for a much more advantageous price than the $600 to $700. Turned out I got this thing for $100. I figured worst case, I turn around and flip it for parts on eBay. So, any rate, what we're going to do today is see if we can get this unit working. I have never owned one of these. I have never worked on one of these, so we're going to have to put our kind of electrical and mechanical ingenuity at work today and see if we can get this thing going. As you can see here, you can kind of get a feel for the size of it. It's a pretty massive unit, as this is a full gallon of water here. So we're going to plug it in here and see what it's doing or not doing and kind of go from there. So on top of having a power cord, which I've just plugged in, and I'm going to turn this unit on, and it looks like it's got power to it, and it's starting to, says heating when lit here at this point. And it has a foot switch down here. And the way it works is when you hit the foot switch, you can, I can hear a motor or pump in here making a noise, but it never attempts to pull in the water over here. So I thought before we went any further, because this is the way it was described to me when I bought it as not working. I thought before I went any further, I would go over here and let's take a look at the manual. Alright, I went out and found the manual here for this unit, and they call it an atmospheric steam cleaning machine. And the model I happen to have is the model 24970 here. As you can see how these look nice and clean, new. It looks like you probably contact these guys for support and service, but you kind of see here in the picture how this unit is designed to work. You kind of feed it in with distilled water, and the distilled water is very important. We'll show you that here in a minute. And then goes in the intake hose. It goes through an electric pump that's controlled by the foot pedal, which we saw. Goes out of there into a heating chamber where it comes out the nozzle as steam. And if you read here a little bit, it will tell you that it is coming out at 535 degrees Fahrenheit. So extremely hot, and you have to use these little tongs like this, or little metal baskets to hold your parts in so you're not holding them by hand. And it comes out at the rate of 125 psi, so really designed to clean something well. And if you kind of scroll down through this, it'll tell you, basically how to turn it on and whatnot. And then some specifics on the 24970. Flip the power switch, the red rocker switch, to the on position. It will glow red. This is telling you that it is heating. Then it says indicator light will be on as the machine is heating. It will take 10 to 15 minutes for the generator to come to full heat, and the light will go off, indicating it's time to use it or whatnot. And then it tells a little bit here about, let's see, where was I reading that at? It says, although tap water can work in your Steam Dragon, it will leave mineral deposits from the boiled water. In time, these deposits will clog your Steam Dragon, rendering it inoperable. So I wonder if maybe that might be what has happened to this unit. Let's go take the cover off of it and dive in and see. Alright, as you can see here, it just has a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws all the way around it. They don't look boogered up, so it doesn't look like someone has been in this before, but it's possible that someone didn't mess up the screws in the process. But you can see we're just going to remove all the screws. Okay, we've got the screws off now at this point. Let's see here. Oh wow, that's quite interesting. The inner workings here are kind of all wrapped up in insulation. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of wiring going on back here to a little block of some sort. I'll have to figure out what that is. And let's see here, maybe we can zoom in a little bit and you can see on the back side over here we have a pump. And so I'm going to start dissecting this thing and see if we can figure out what's causing this. Okay, one of the first things I've noticed is the water comes in here through this, and it comes into this little pump, and then it comes out of this pump, goes through a little coil, and then into this wrapped up chamber here. And when I hit the foot switch, I can feel the motor vibrating here. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to see maybe it's just clogged up, and I'm going to pull the top part off here and see if this unit will just pump water through it without anything, maybe back pressure here on the other side. As you can see here, I just kind of loosened this nut here and pulled the copper pipe out, so we'll see how that works. Or if that, without any back pressure, maybe this pump just pumps water out now. Okay, as you can see, with the unit turned on and without the pipe feeding into the heating chamber in it, so there's no back pressure, we still have the same noise and no water coming out the other side of the pump here. I feel the whole pump shaking, so it's likely not on down the line, it's likely inside this pump. Okay, there's two little screws on the back of this unit, and if you take a look around here on the other side, there's a little nut here. So all I did was use a wrench, held the nut on one side and loosen this on the other, and then it allows this whole pump to kind of come loose from its bracket here. Okay, now we got the pump out, still wired up electrically. I've got the unit unplugged, but now I could put this hose into here, and I might even could take this apart and see if it's clogged up in some way. But more important thing is I can see the model number here, so I'm going to go look this up and see if this is just something I could buy the pump online. Alright, I did a little searching online. It wasn't something that popped up that every, just a common parts warehouse would have. Looked like maybe you'd have to get this from Fluidotech. But anyway, in the meantime, I'm starting to just kind of clamp down on nuts here on one end. Whoops. And probably can't do this and make a video at the same time, but you get the idea. I'm having to take off these 4 bolts and going to take the pump apart. Maybe it's just clogged up, or who knows. So very interesting. As the pump comes apart, you kind of got these 2 halves here. And this end, and you probably can't see it, but I'm able to blow through it, but not suck through it, which is the way this is. It's a one-way valve. It's the way it's supposed to work. Kind of hard to see up in there. So that side's good. This side, on the other hand, can't get anything through either side of this. And as you can see now, I've got this unit all apart. I've been cleaning out inside of both sides of this. And this uses a little ball and spring mechanism on both ends of these to kind of make it a one-way flow. The other thing I did was I took this little middle part apart here and took this rubber gasket off, and this was all gunked up, and I took it and I've just been using just a wire brush here on the Dremel, cleaning all these parts at this point in time. And so I got to remember how all this goes back together. But and I want to take this part. You can see here, look how corroded and kind of gunked up this is, and this is the actual piston here that's designed as part of this oscillating movement to make this thing work. So we're just going to clean it all up and put it back together and see if possibly it works. There's just a lot of, like you can see here, you can see kind of rust and corrosion all around on this, and it's not supposed to be that way. Alright, we finished cleaning everything, polishing everything back up, got it all put back together here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in over here on the side and just do a kind of bench test, hook the hose to it here, and see if it'll pump. And even after all that, no suction here whatsoever. So I think the little motor here may be burnt up, and I think I'm just going to see if I can find and order a new one of some sort. Alright, I did some searching for Fluid Tech online, and I actually found their website, and I sent them an email to contact them to see if they would sell me one of these pumps, and I never received an email back from them. So I don't know whether maybe they don't sell to individuals or what, but I never got anything back from them. So I started doing some searching on eBay, and sure enough, I found a Fluid Tech, but it's a different model number. It's the 1110 instead of the 1108. It's basically the same pump, different volume, and I didn't know how that would play out with this unit. I rolled the dice, made an offer on this, and they came back and declined it, so I think they're wanting somewhere near their asking price here. And then I also did a search on sold items, and I did see where one of the model numbers I needed had sold for about $110. But I contacted the seller, and he said he did not have any more. So I'm like, okay, where am I going to get one of these at? So I thought, when all else fails, let's go back to the manufacturer. So I sent them an email looking for a pump for my Steam Dragon. Appears to be this model number. Is this something you sell? I got back, please advise, we do not sell parts for Steam Dragons, but we do repair them. If you want it repaired, please contact. So I reached out to him and said, yeah, could you give me a typical repair estimate cost? And he said, hey, the average repair cost about $250 plus $25 return, shipping, and handling, which honestly isn't too bad. Even if I ended up with $350 in this unit, or $375, it's still cheaper than the $600–700 that a used one sells for. So I thought, hey, this could be my plan B if I can't find something else. All right, so I did some more searching around on part number, and I came up with this company called Clark Solutions, and they had this pump, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it kind of looks like it, but not exactly. It's hard to tell from the picture. But then I noticed they had the exact part number, and it called it an 8mm piston. And I thought, well, maybe this is it. So I ended up reaching out to these guys, and ultimately ended up on the phone with them. And they basically said, yeah, we buy these pumps from Fluid Tech, and if you order one, you know, it may take a week or two to get it to you, but we'll get one in stock and get it shipped out to you. So so at that point, I thought, well, let me call you back, because I paused for a minute. I got to thinking, and let me show you this. So what I did was I wanted to make sure that this heating chamber here wasn't clogged up, because I got to thinking about the mineral deposits it was talking about, and I thought maybe what happened was this heating chamber got clogged up, and then you know, as this electric pump was trying to push fluid through it, if it was clogged up, maybe it burned up the pump. So I put the unit up on the bench in there, and I hooked an air compressor up to this side, basically the inlet hose going into the heating chamber, and I just blew air through it, and air flowed freely through this thing. Did not take much pressure at all. It just flowed right through. So I knew the unit was not clogged up here. I was in the opinion then, well, it's got to be this pump at this point. So I went ahead and called these guys back at Clark Solutions. And believe it or not, 1 week later and $48, I have a pump sitting on my bench here. So let's open it up and install it and see if it solves the problem. All right, you can see our new motor, identical to the other. We do need to move these fittings out of this motor over into this. So I'm going to take this in here and use a vise to do that with. All right, we got the new fittings on here. Use some light Teflon plumber's tape on both of these to ensure that they sealed up good. We're going to mount it in this thing and turn it on. Alright, we've got our new motor mounted in here, got the electrical back to it, we've got our hose connected back up to it. We're going to spin this around and turn it on. Okay, we've got the unit turned on now, and I'm going to hit the foot switch here. Ah, did you see the water? Flowed right up in there. Alright, we're going to let it warm up before we finish pumping through, but we are pulling good water at this point. Okay, we've had the unit turned on now for 15 minutes. The way it works is you turn the switch on, the red light comes on, the unit heats up. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes for the unit to get fully hot, the heating chamber there. And then at that point, you're basically ready to go once this light goes off. So let's hit the foot switch and see how it does here. Check this out. it works well. So you use little, tongs with a ring. And works quite well. Alright guys, super happy with this. So $148 into a what might be a as at a used price $600–700 unit. I couldn't be any happier. So the moral to this whole story is, if you find something cheap enough that you think you could even get your money back out of it as parts, it might be worth taking a stab at seeing if you could fix it and come out to the good. I'm just glad for 150 bucks I've got a nice steam cleaning machine around here to use. Be great for knobs, maybe even face plates, certainly jewelry and things of that nature, but just lucky to have it at this point. Thanks for watching, everybody.